What's up guys, Bionic here and welcome to today's Raid Shadow Legends video. This is another free-to-play account, so it is not my own. I've been asked to go in, have a quick look, and provide some general tips and tricks to ensure that this player is progressing as efficiently as he could be. Now, we're not going to tune this account. There's not a lot of silver to work with, and I assume there's perhaps not that much gear either. So instead, what we're going to do is sort of see where his teams are at, how he's performing in the clan boss, perhaps in some of the dungeons. We're going to also look at the missions to see where he's at and what he needs to do to keep moving forward, because we know that this is very rewarding and we want to be able to complete that as quickly as possible. Alright, so first off, let's look at the champions. What do we got? We've got a Bellower, which is going to be very good in the dungeons as well as a campaign farmer. We've got a Prince Kaimar, which is going to be very good in the late game dungeons, perhaps when he starts having like a Royal Guard. Also very good in the first slot for the arena because of that speed increase. Then we've got a Kale, of course, probably starter champion, excellent poisoner, probably a nuker in the arena as well. He's got another one, so if he would want to load up on poisons for the clan boss, he could use both of these. Even just like a level 50 Kale could be very useful as long as he builds him very tanky, just there for the poisons with enough accuracy. Then he's got an apothecary, which is insane, so he's going to want to use that probably in the clan boss. He's got a Doom Priest that he could also use in the clan boss for the debuff clearing, the heal, and the increased attack, which will add some damage. He's got his AoE decreased defense from War Maiden, so he's probably working on that right now. Then we've got another increase attack from Spirit Host, but since he's already got Doom Priest, he's got Gorgrab, I don't think Spirit Host will be needed at this point, so she's probably going to be sent to the vault for some time. Then perhaps Outlaw Monk that he started working on for the poisons, but like I said, now that he's got Kale, I think Kale will be better overall. And then he's also got the High Katoon, but since he's got the Prince Kaimar, I assume High Katoon will not be worked on for now, which is alright. He's got a Reliquary Tender, so that's an extra healer, debuff cleanser, which might be very useful in some dungeons eventually. Perhaps in the clan boss at one point, but looking at the rest of his setup, I don't think he would use Reliquary Tender at this point. And then the rest seems to be basically all food, or at least one copy of each rare that he's gotten so far, which is what you want to do on a free-to-play account in case you get a fusion event or fusion series of events that you can tackle. Okay, now let's look at the arena. So as I predicted, he's got his Prince Kaimar in the first slot, which is perfect. He's got the Doom Priest for the increased attack, and then he's got the Kale as his nuker. He's using the Bellower, which is also good because he does have a 30% decreased defense. Now, if he wanted to, he could swap out this guy and instead use the War Maiden to have the 60% decreased defense. However, because he's already got the Bellower built up, it might be best to just stick with that for now, depending on if he decides to work on the War Maiden or not. Also, I'm not too sure about the speed tuning, but let's say his Bellower has, 116, so that seems a little bit low. I'm assuming, yeah, he would need to go before the Kale, and the Kale has 157. So if he wants to keep using this build, I would suggest that he pumps this speed way up so that he can go before the Kale. So then the Kale would benefit from the increased attack, the decreased defense, and then be able to nuke the entire team. Then we'd have an entire cooldown reset from the Prince Kaimar, and Prince Kaimar also has an AoE, but this is to remove all buffs and place a sleep, which I think this is the one he opens with. So if he manually controls the run, then he could do or he might want to do this instead, yeah. So to get the full turn meter increase. Anyway, there's a couple ways he could go about it. He could open up with the AoE, deal some damage, but depending on what the speed is for this Prince Kaimar here, 159. So I don't think he's set up to go first. He's set up his Doom Priest to go first then, right? Yeah, 160. Okay. So let's do a run to see what happens with Prince Kaimar. This team might have the edge on speed because of 2 turn meter increases. So instead, let's find something, perhaps, maybe he's able to do this one here. Power seems similar. We may have the edge with speed, and then we'll see what happens because this is just not the right order, and we'll go from there. And I want to auto this as well to see what happens. So, okay. So Prince Kaimar opens with his Seal of Magic. Then if that's the case, you probably want him to go last, as this is going to ensure that your champions have already done their AoEs. They get the turn meter increase, and then they get their skills reset, so that he's able to benefit from this. See, like Bellower right now did not even go once, which means we missed out on that 30% decrease defense. And so now back to Doom Priest. We're not going to need this mass possession again. We're just going to use the A1, I guess. Then we're going to be back to Kale. Let's go AoE again. So this is really good. The Prince Kaimar will work wonders. And then another A1, and then we're done. Okay. So at first glance, this is a pretty good team. The Prince Kaimar will be huge for this. It will work out very well, but I would probably swap out War Maiden for Bellower at this point. I think he's going to get better damage output from having the 60% decreased defense. Also, I think War Maiden, being an attack champion, will deal more damage with her AoE. Alright, now looking at the campaign. So it looks like he's still not at a point where he can farm with just one champion. Perhaps the Kale is very close. Either the Kale or the Bellower could do a very good job. It's probably just a question of gear at this point and masteries. So I would pick one. Perhaps in the beginning it's easier to focus on a champion that will be reused elsewhere. And I think the Kale being used in the clan boss is probably going to be his best bet. He's, I think, got him set up in a lifesteal set, which I can't see from here. So hold on, let's go back into the champions. Yeah, so lifesteal and attack. The stats obviously are a little low. Like, he needs a lot more crit rate and crit damage to be able to power through that 12-3. And then as for the Bellower, the stats seem a little bit better, so maybe he's close. I don't know if he's got not enough accessories to complete this, and mastery wise he just started. Okay, so it's getting there. He may be able to commit this Bellower to farming campaign right away. If not, then use the Kale in a lifesteal set, which might have a little bit more sustainability. But that is also something I would try to work on as quickly as possible, because you want to have a champion that can farm 12-3 with 3 food as quickly as possible. Alright, and now I want to look at the challenges and missions. I keep saying this, I'm going to keep saying it. These are very rewarding. You've got to try and complete these as quickly as possible, because in a lot of cases they give like energy books, especially rare books in the beginning, which is perfect for your your starter champion and so on. So like this here, win a 3-star champion from clearing stage 1 of the sewers on normal. This should have been done a while ago. This should probably be higher considering where he's at, let's say like with the champions challenge, the dungeons. Okay, so he's doing pretty good. Magic Keep, that's probably one that's a little bit more complicated, because you've got to get rid of that big buff. Early on, there's not a lot of champions that can do this, but if he manages to work on his rosin, then he may be able to use rosin to complete that. But I wouldn't worry too much about that one. But the other ones where you can progress, I would do that. Then this one, Arena, he's doing good. Now let's look at the missions. Missions right here. So this should be relatively easy. Stage 5 of the Void Keep, so he just has to wait to the next Sunday to get this done. And then still this here, this is something that could have been done perhaps a little bit earlier. This as well. I'm going to check his dungeons real quick to see how he's doing. The spider, where is he at? Okay, so he's doing good. He should be able to clear all those as quickly as possible. Same thing here. This is probably good for a 1 month old, a little bit more than 1 month old account. Same thing on the dragon, and then Fire Knight also doing not too bad. So again, like, he's got the right champions, or he's got a good lineup. All he needs to do is to keep powering through these missions and challenges, because like I said, there's so much in here to be gained on an early account. Energy, there's some gear in there as well, which might be very good. And of course, you know, the Sacred Shard once you finish the part 2. Like, I remember my first 35 days, I had completed all of these. Okay, completely. So it's doable. And he did pull some very good champions in order to do that. So there's not really an excuse as to why he can't. He maybe just needs to optimize his core players right now a little bit, and then he should be good to go. Alright, almost done. A couple more things we're going to look at real quick. The mine, he's fully unlocked it, which is fantastic. The sparring pit, he's only got the one. He could do this one as well. He's got a free slot. Not too sure what he's doing with his gems. Probably energy refills, which isn't the end of the world. But I remember that in my first 35 days, I had basically unlocked all of these with the in-game gems that were given out. But don't forget, I had more missions completed. I probably had a couple more challenges completed as well. Is he saving up? Okay, saving up some double XP. That's the way to go. Double XP here as well, saved up for later, so that's good. This is a great way to just stock up on extra resources and use them at the right time. And let's look at his events right now. Okay, so nothing saved up in here, but overall doing decent. So you always try to complete a little bit. Like here, I would at least try and get that 150 points to get that 75 energy. Arena Assault, I would definitely try to push and get this energy as well. The artifact enhancement, he's done a lot so far, so maybe as he re-optimizes his gear a little bit, especially the speed tuning, then this might go up a little bit more, but I wouldn't really push for anything higher here because I don't see anything worth it in terms of amount of points needed, and then he's pretty low on silver anyway. And then Dungeon Divers event, doing good. He might get another runic order, but he's already got one. So I didn't pay too much attention to which champions he had for these fusions, but this, if he's able by some miracle to get this champion, that would be a great help for the account. But otherwise, he's on the right track. Like I said, maybe just be a little bit more careful as to how you can access those extra rewards. Because again, I will say it many times, you have to use the in-game mechanics to generate more resources, or else you're always going to be behind the people who have already done so. So that's it, guys. Just a quick showcase of another free-to-play account. A little bit of tips and tricks from my own personal experience. There's no 100% right way to go about this, but it's sort of what I've observed and compared to my own progress when I started a year ago. But like I said, otherwise doing very good. He's got the good champions. He's got, you know, good things going on in terms of gear. His stats aren't too bad. Like I see War Maiden here is actually doing very good compared in speed. I mean, compared to the Bellower. I think the Prince Chimera will work wonders. He probably paid the 800 gems to get these masteries done, which is not a bad move whatsoever. So he's going to want to try and include Prince Chimera as in many places as possible. But perhaps the clan boss is not where he's going to shine because he doesn't bring a lot to the table other than the turn meter increase and reset of cooldowns. But don't forget, it is a game of loading up on poisons, so I would try to aim for that as quickly as possible. Get more poisons on the clan boss with perhaps the extra kill. Might give out more damage in the end. But like I said, it all depends on your gear. It all depends on the speed tuning. So he's going to have to try out a couple of things. This video was not about me taking over his account and like redesigning everything. It was just sort of like at first glance what I think might help out. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.